advice I can give you is, instead of looking at other people and comparing yourself to other people and figuring out what you need to do to be just like other people, worry about yourself. Figure out what works for you and go hard on that. Go in on that. Double down on that. What works for you. Look at these other people and say, these people became successful because they had an idea and they ran with it and they put their all into it. And if I take whatever idea that I have and run with it and put my all into it, and stuff like that, and when it's my season, I'm gonna be up just like them.
Am I really that much handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camera. You don't really know you.
Hello, babies. My name is Siren Redd, and I'm the creatorpreneur. Every week, I bring you business tips and tricks on how to create or how to maintain your creative business. So today, we are talking about, I guess people call this like a motivational Monday, but I just kind of, guys, want to give you your thoughts, because again, like when it comes to like having a business, having a creative business, like there are things that I'm going to teach you on here. Other creators are going to teach you, other business owners are going to teach you, that are just like things that you got to learn, like, how to do your taxes, how to save, how to make a certain amount of money, how to do maintenance, how, like certain stuff like that is stuff that that it's like kind of cookie cutter, like we all kind of do the same thing, we can kind of teach the same thing, but then there are also conversations that need to be had, because having a business is not only like a logical thing, it's also a very emotional and an intellectual thing. So it's like things are going to happen within your mind, and things are going to happen within your heart, and it's okay to have these conversations. You get what I'm saying? Because if you're not aligned within yourself, if you're not aligned within yourself, if you're not sure of yourself and stuff like that, it could really fuck up what you got going on, and it could really be bad for business. Does that make sense? Because you could be you can have a good business plan, be a good like good at like money and stuff like that, managing money and stuff like that and everything like that. But if you can't like regulate your emotions, and you're depressive, you get in depressive states and stuff like that, and you can't get out of bed to make sure what needs to get done is get done, because you're ignoring your emotions, because you think the bag is more important than your mental health, the bag is more important than like your emotional health and stuff like that, and that doesn't have nothing to do with it, you're wrong. That's why people get in such high positions, and you see people like, kill themselves, or unalive themselves, whatever, or certain things happen to certain people. You're like, well, they were so successful, like why would they do this to themselves? They were so successful, like why would they give up on themselves? They were so successful, how they get addicted to like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's success and money and stuff like that is also going to cause some like different types of emotional turmoil. Like it's not always going to be all rainbows and sunshine and shit like that. So that's why I make these videos as well, because you need to watch these just as well as you need to watch like what you need to be doing with your money, and how you need to be flipping it. All right. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into this video. So today's video is about feeling behind, especially with social media. Okay, so I struggle with this, especially in my first year of entrepreneurship, because online right now there's like a boom in entrepreneurships. I feel like this is the biggest boom in entrepreneurship that we have ever seen. Like we have ever seen right now, especially in America. And that's because like the resources right now for you to become an entrepreneur is extremely easy right now. All you really need is credit score. All you really need is credit score and social media. You know what I'm saying? You got a credit score, you got a decent credit score, you got a computer, some internet access, you could become a millionaire, literally. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's a lot of stuff on the internet, and we don't know what's true, and we don't know what's true, and we don't know what's false, right? So right now, like on the internet, you see a lot of people that say like, oh, I made such and such my first year, or I make such and such a month, I make this, I make that, right? And they might even have some receipts, and those receipts could be real, and those receipts could be doctored up, or those receipts cannot tell the full story. Like, okay, yeah, I made 100,000 this month, but my expenses for my business were 80,000. So I really didn't make that much. I really only made 20,000. I make 20,000 a month, not 100K a month. You get what I'm saying? So it's like there's different things like that. So we got to keep that in mind, right? But seeing all these things can make you feel like you're behind, and it could also make you feel like you're not moving fast enough. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something wrong, right? Sometimes people don't show you what they were doing. People don't show you what they were doing before they got to that point. Or you may come, you don't know what part of their story that you may have came in on. So you may have came in on when they finally got up, when they finally got that paper, when they finally got up, when they finally got that paper, when they finally start doing good for themselves. You didn't seen their story. Does that make sense? So you may not have seen when they was hustling, when they was broke, when they was fighting with their baby daddy on live. Like, you may not have seen all that. You may have not seen the heartbreak. You may have not seen like how many banks turned them down. You may not see how they couldn't get a loan. You may have not seen a lot of things until it was time for you to see what you needed to see. You get what I'm saying? Until it was time for you to see what I call as motivation, because you should be looking at it as nothing other than motivation. If you see somebody, especially somebody who looks like you, that has something that you want, you use that as motivation to say, okay, if this person has this and they look like me, they dress like me, they're from the same place as me, whatever, then what makes it attainable for them but not attainable for me? I just have to figure out what they did or what they're doing, or what path that I should take to get to where I want to get to where they are. Because sometimes it's not that you need to be doing the same thing that somebody else is doing. Sometimes it's that you need to stay on a path that you're meant to stay on, so you can gain the things that you need. Does that make sense? Like, okay, for example, I have a lot of other colleagues that do Airbnb, right? I have a lot of other colleagues that do Airbnb. Some of them hate Airbnb. Some of them have dropped out of Airbnb. Some of them really love Airbnb. Some of them do good on Airbnb, right? I never really cared to have an Airbnb. I wanted a themed building. Like, I wanted themed rooms. My goal was to make rooms into stories, to build live stories that people can walk to my art. My goal was livable art installations. You get what I'm saying? So while some people have success in Airbnb the way they do it, I have success in the way in Airbnb the way I do it. You get what I'm saying? So my business might be different than another person's business. So, but that doesn't mean that mine is not going to be successful. This just means that this is my path. You get what I'm saying? Like, everybody has their own path. So when you're looking online, you're looking at what people are doing to be successful and stuff like that, you might be like, okay, I want to do Airbnb. You might get into Airbnb and it might not work for you. You might not make no money. And you're like, damn, well, Siren did Airbnb and her stuff was very successful. Siren did this, but you're not me. You're not me. You don't have my goal. You don't have my vision. You don't have my heart. So you're not going to put in it what I'm putting into it. So the best advice I can see you in, the best advice I can give you is, instead of looking at other people and comparing yourself to other people and figuring out what you need to do to be just like other people, worry about yourself. Figure out what works for you and go hard on that. Go in on that. Double down on that. What works for you. Look at these other people and say, these people became successful because they had an idea and they ran with it and they put their all into it. And if I take whatever idea that I have and run with it and put my all into it, and stuff like that, and when it's my season, I'm gonna be up just like them. You have to put yourself into that mindset instead of putting yourself in a mindset of, oh, they have something that I don't have, or something that's unattainable, or like this person's ahead of me and they're younger than me, all this other shit. Because again, some people are lying. I'm not gonna lie. Some people just straight lying about they or whatever. They get money from telling you they got money, and they get money from the courses. And then other people, they really did this, but you don't know they had to do mad back end work. Like, they was working since they was 16. You get what I'm saying? Like, people talk about, oh, Jada Waiter and all this stuff. Like, Jada had businesses. She had business on top of business on top of business since she was 16 years old. They said she was selling flat irons and hair at 16. Like, she been that girl. You get what I'm saying? She been had an entrepreneurial spirit, but it just wasn't her season yet. You get what I'm saying? And then you meet her in the season of her being like, I think she like 23 or 20, 24, one of them, right? You're like, damn, she's so young, and I'm 24 too, but I'm not where she is. But when you were 16, you wasn't thinking about being no entrepreneur. You ain't know nothing about entrepreneurship at all. And that's okay. You get what I'm saying? There are people there are 19-year-old millionaires. There are 19-year-old millionaires. You get what I'm saying? And I'm 30 years old. Okay? I'm 30 years old. I'm not looking at no 19-year-old. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm 30. I should be where they are. Because when I was 19, I was not worried about no business. I was in school and I thought I was gonna be a nurse. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you also gotta understand you're not on the same timeline as other people. Okay? So the best advice I can give you is to worry about yourself. So we're gonna go over a little bit of things that I do when I start feeling that way, okay? One, I remember that people only post the good things. You're only going to see people highlight reels of their life. They're never going to post like the bad stuff that's going on, because why would they do that? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's their business. They're not going to do that. So you're only seeing the highlight reels. Two, looking at somebody will not help you move faster. So you looking at somebody's success and be like, damn, they're so successful and I'm not as successful, is not finna make you more successful. It's not going to make you more successful at all, bro. Like, if anything, it's going to be more a waste of your time, because instead of scrolling all day, you should be pouring into yourself. So looking at somebody is not going to make you more successful. And number three, you become what you look at. So it's kind of a good thing. So if your feed is constantly with rich young people or rich people who look like you and stuff like that, and you start to feel depressed about it because you're not in that spot yet, keyword yet, also look at it as motivation, because now your timeline is changing, your feed is changing, all you're attracting is successful, healthy, wealthy people, successful, healthy, wealthy people. You get what I'm saying? So because all you're looking at all day is successful, healthy, attractive people, you're going to eventually become successful, healthy, and wealthy. You get what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that your feed is looking like that. So instead of allowing it to put you in a depressive mood, allow it to put you in okay, I'm looking into my future. This is who I'm going to be one day. Okay. But yeah, so that's just my little quick video to help you guys on, because when you start your journey, you're gonna be looking at other people. You're like, damn, I wish I was this, I wish I was that. So I just kind of wanted to make you a video and let you know it's okay. Your season is gonna come. You're gonna get where you're gonna have to get. You're gonna get where you're gonna get, and it's don't worry about it too much. All right. Well, with that being said, my name is Siren, and I'm the careerpreneur, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Bye.